respond within all these periods, because you have 90 days in the first instance, there's 7 days, another 7 days, and then the 1 month. So when you fail to, it clearly shows that you are not ready to respond voluntarily. You understand? So we'll go for the last stage, which is enforcement. And in enforcement, sometimes I think maybe, I don't know, the legal person will help me out on that maybe later. But even in enforcement, we still give processes for you to, so that we don't get to the level where we are seeing coming with force to either restrain or to go for prosecution. So for that, I think the service tries as much as possible to, highlight the trust issue. Because when there's trust, then within those processes that you are given to, comply, you are expected to, on the basis of trust, you go ahead, you will file your returns within the 90 days. If you fail to do that, we give dates, estimated billing. And then based on trust, you can come forward and then discussion takes place before any other thing. So the service is really voluntary, compliant, inclined. Then there's another question, I don't know whether I've responded to that, but there's another question that came about concerning whether the service has provision to help frankly speaking, I think the mandate of the service is basically to collect, account, and report taxes. So, for us, well, honestly, I'm not, aware of that. Yes, I'm not aware of that. Then there's also the issue of whether the service has provision for tax credits.
Tax holidays.
Tax holiday and all that. I think tax holiday basically has to do with the virus. I don't know, sir.
Mostly federal.
So,
so what I was for Kaduna State, I said tax expenditure framework at the state level.
That's what.
Tax expenditure framework at the state level.
Okay.
Expenditure.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that. Yes.
But sorry, let me just add the question to that. Sorry. So, do we have any incentive for business owners, particularly maybe sort of provision to encourage voluntary compliance, possibly that people want to just begin to see the need to pay their taxes, something that will attract them, incentive primarily, that is coming from the state's provision. I know we have the 1%. We used to have 1% initially when you pay within the voluntary window, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, but aside that, are there other attractive measures in place, or what are there plans to have things that will encourage people to want to come and pay their taxes?
Frankly speaking, for now, there's not.
Even at the federal level, that 1% voluntary compliance has also been withdrawn from the law.
Yes.
It has been withdrawn from the law, and then it's just a tax credit given to the taxpayer who has voluntarily complied at the appropriate time. Yes. But the money will not be given to him.
No.
It will be delayed till compliance of the next year, and it will be taken as what? A credit against his obligation.
Yes.
In the following year. But in our own case, in the case of the federal government, most of these compliance things in business are done on a preceding year basis. You understand? For self-employed business, for people in employment, it is on actual year basis. So there's no reason for that kind of credit. But what we are here for is mostly those who are in business. And actually, it is not even within the tax laws of Kaduna State. So there's not that kind of expenditure framework found in Kaduna. Therefore, they cannot implement that. So it's beyond them. So except it has bounced back on us to advocate for such things in the law. Thank you very much.
Let me add something. This is qualification law.
Yes.
It's combination of PIT and then the state tax.
Yeah.
So whatever applied in PIT, it's also applied in qualification.
That's it. But certain times, we have seen differences between the codification law and the PIT, especially with this law when you brought in your development levy. The PIT said development levy should be 100 naira, but you vary it to 1,000 naira, which is, excuse me, ma'am, which is contrary to the extant law. Because even the PIT law is not your law, it's a federal government law. Federal government have only been magnanimous enough to donate it to you to collect and spend the money in the state level. So varying that law, it is what? It is subjudicial, what is it called? Subjudicial to the, it's not interested to the people, and that is why you can see that people are dragging feet in paying that development levy because it's at variance with the extant law. So we need to look at that. The state governor does not have the power to increase that development levy to 100,000 naira. It does not have that power. It is a law of the federal legislature, and it must be reviewed. It must go through them before you can do that. Thank you very much, Aranga.
Okay, let me answer that. When we go back to the Gazette of 2015, what did the Gazette say? That the state can give any rate they want. So if you look at other states, there are some states are applying 2,000 or even more than that. So when you look at that Gazette, the federal government has given us right to put any rate we want, to review or whatever. So I think we can look into that.
Okay.
What I just have to say is that it's domesticating of the law, domesticating it on state level. That state 2,000, for Kaduna state is 1,000 naira. Because the inflation rate, and now,
thank you all. I believe the planning, are they around? You know, we are trying to get a door to knock. Is that is all what we've been doing. And the way we've been seeing it, in the form of the tax expenditure, the ease of doing businesses, the incentives available in the state, and how the states will encourage voluntary compliance while enhancing their collection as well as protecting the poor and vulnerable groups. So, do Kaduna State have a tax advisory committee to the governor? You do have. So maybe if that committee is available, that tax advisory committee can be advocated to in terms of the incentives required for the payment. As you say, it's outside the jurisdiction of the Internal Revenue Service to do anything incentives to the taxpayers, as in helping or boosting their economic career to obtain more collection next year. But the State Advisory Committee, in its effort to enhance the ease of doing businesses in Kaduna State, may come up with any economic empowerment that will be given directly to the taxpayers. That one will be subject to the decision of the governor, and it may be advocated at that level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, too. I think we still have one question, so I would like our panelists to please pay attention to this question because it may be directed to any one of us. Good day, everyone. My name is A.Y. Abdulkader, legal practitioner of Kaduna Market Development and Management Company, double as a secretary to the caretaker committee of the Sheikh Abubakar Muhammad Gumi Central Market. Chairman is currently here. So
addition is that the session has been very insightful. Yes, the session has been very insightful and is a very, very good one, and we hope that we keep it forward. The issue of these taxpayers with respect to the topic under discussion, gender blind tax system on women's business development in Kaduna State. We sent out and women in the market. This issue of awareness has been a problem. Several provisions of the law that has been provided based on the Kaduna State Tax Codification and Consolidation Law 2020. If you will go to part 3, that's section 10,